Right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the 138th episode of the Sussex by the Sea podcast's fan roundtable with some wonderful uh, guests on from the Isthmian North, Isthmian Southeast, and Isthmian PREM. We have a late entry. He's coming from, I'm going to say it, Uranus. It's Robbo is here. Hang on, and he's visited Turkey as well. We, by the looks of things, but we're not going to say anything about that. Great to see all of you. We got the returning Ian from Haringey, the lovely Terry from Margate, Rob from Folkestone, and Ian Grant from Hastings, who hasn't been on for bloody ages.
Bloody ages, yeah, sorry.
Well, Hastings fans tend to avoid coming on the podcast, and I cannot think why. But there we go. Hello to everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Ian, Hastings man, haven't been on for ages, mate. So I'd like not a brief. You have the floor, but a review of our season currently. And we did have the fan forum where talk of potential new ground was discussed. So I'll leave it up to you, Ian. Your thoughts on a up and down season.
I mean, it's been this is not a revelation. I haven't got great insight here. It's been really awful, isn't it? I mean, it's been really bad. I think it sort of started bad, carried on bad, then there was a bad bit, and then it's still bad. And I was thinking about it earlier, and I was trying to work it out. It's like, it's like one of those Watford seasons. We've had 3 managers now. It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. I think it's fair to say that that Danny Searle has brought in players who are better than the ones that they replace. They look, I think he's brought in a couple of particularly good players. I think Teddy Perkins is a lot of fun. Ben Wells is really good in midfield. The 2 new forwards look pretty decent, but it doesn't seem to add up to anything. It seems like we could do anything at this point and we would still carry on trundling slowly towards relegation, which is it's not a bit, it's quite a lot depressing. And I think
mathematically we're not down.
No, we're not.
Ian.
No, absolutely. I'm very much of that mind. If we were to win on Saturday, who knows? Then you got Canvey, who knows? Maybe, but it's very hard to see the signs. There's been much talk of kind of points over performances. I think that's the phrase that we're using, and it would seem that's kind of not a choice that we necessarily have to make, given that we have neither points nor performances. It's a bit like somebody who's got no money trying to decide whether they want to go on holiday to the Bahamas or New York. It's not going to happen either way. But yeah, I don't know. Football's terrible.
Workmanlike.
I mean, that's an insult to the good working people of the nation, though, isn't it? Really. I mean, it is. To be fair, it is hard-working football, and it's hard work to watch it as well. It's very direct, but I think I grew up watching direct football, and I was
going to say bloody Watford fan talking about direct football. Yeah,
you've got to get it down in the final third. You can't, if you're just punting it long in no particular direction continuously, you don't, it doesn't really achieve anything. You're just
direct passes,
hoping for a series of random events that will eventually add up to something happening in the penalty area. So it's pretty desperate. I can see that the players are trying their hardest. I think the pitch is a nightmare.
That doesn't help things, does it?
Ben White,
the glorious football can't be played on that.
No, I think that's the thing. Ben White at the forum was arguing that it wasn't really a fact, but I disagree with that. I think if you've got a playing surface that's basically changing the way that you're able to play in 50% of your games and changing it in a way that doesn't favour several of your best players, then I think you've got a real problem. It's just bobbly.
We're both. Well, I think we're both going to commit Sibaku in a minute, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. But as you say, I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But it would be lovely to see some signs, and I don't see the signs. But you never know.
Well, it's a problem with a sinking. Well, with a ship that's taking on water, and he said sinking ship there. We were conceding goals too easily. Danny Searle has definitely changed things, tightened things up, and the football is obviously more direct But then I don't think we had the players to play the passing game here. That it wasn't working, and we're not getting stuff now. We're getting the occasional result. We haven't had that. We've had, that stuff where when you're down there, everyone knows this. When you're down there, your luck goes out the window, doesn't it? And that little penalty shout or that free kick goes against you. But that's because you're only getting a few chances in a game.
Yeah, exactly. It's a percentage game sometimes, isn't it? It's easy to moan about a penalty given against you, but if you've if the opposition have had the ball in your box a lot, then they've increased the chances of that happening, and you haven't. But sorry, that's me bringing.
Go ahead.
Just bring
it's also when you're sort of down there, you actually need to start picking up points at like a much faster rate than you like. If you're 15th, 16th, you can pick up 1 point a game or something like that, and sort of tick over quite nicely. But if you're 6 or 7 points behind, you need to kind of pick up that deficit before on top of getting enough points. Like that would winning points at a rate that would like let you stay up over the season. So it's like you need to string like 4 or 5 wins together to get yourself out of shit. And then
there was a moment, we beat Hendon a couple of weeks ago, and there was a moment where
Hendon were worse than us.
That was they were worse than us. We scrapped out a win, and there was that moment. Then you've got a game on the following Tuesday night, albeit a tougher game, and you sort of think, well, if we can go into that, maybe we've picked up confidence a bit, maybe we can give that a go. If you were to get something out of that, then suddenly you're talking, and we were nothing in that game. We were beaten comfortably, really. I think that was the moment where I slightly, but
I'm not giving up hope, Ian.
Never give up.
This is getting worse, isn't it?
No.
Does anybody know any songs?
No, well, it's we brought in Reese and I always get this guy's name. Is it Siabonga, the sort of winger stroke forward player?
Yeah.
Brought loads of energy and hustle, which is one of the things that I was really surprised about with Hastings. Like Hastings usually was a team that, okay, we might not be able to pass the ball off the field, but one thing we gave was 110% and got stuck into people and almost to the point of being a bit of a niggly side. And that disappeared this season. So bringing in players that are like that get stuck in and just will not give up till the night that that final whistle goes was like really obvious. As soon as they come in, it was like like they stood out like a sore thumb. And unfortunately, in the Dartford game, which we are really in it, it was the fans were great. Even the Dartford socials, like their match report said that Hastings, us, like we did a Terry, we gave it our all for 90 minutes, despite it not being fantastic. Trying to be that 12th person, and there's not too many sides. And obviously, Siabonga's got himself sent off towards the end, so he's out for 2 games. I think possibly Adam Lovett's out, and I think obviously Keir Moyes is out.
Teddy Perkins is out, isn't he?
Yeah, Finn Chapman, I think, might be out as well. So it's a tough one. You just it's I don't know.
It's got to keep going, haven't we? Really,
just got to keep going. But you were just quickly. Who we got anyway? We got we ain't got Wingate. Is it Wingate? Chichester, another tough game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we got Billericay as well.
Sorry, I thought you were asking about Saturday.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I think in the next 3 games we got Chichester, Billericay, but then we got Canvey.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping we would have something to play for when we get to Canvey. And stranger things have happened, but it's looking distant now. It really is. And Saturday is just a must win. An absolute must win. There's no 2 buts about it. But just quickly on that fan forum.
Let's do some more positive stuff.
Just quickly, because I think that everyone's going to hang themselves if they keep listening about the woes of Hastings United.
Starting with us too.
Yeah.
The forum, I think, was positive. Obviously, half of it was kind of devoted to questions about the football, which was less positive. But there followed a presentation about ground redevelopment of the pilot field. I think that the kind of headline in terms of the current facilities is that the main stand will close for spectators, at least from the end of next season at the latest. And so at that point, we're kind of improvising around ground arrangements. So the bullet points of it are the main proposal, and it is just a proposal at the moment.
Is it an indecent proposal?
It is. Well, I thought it was quite a decent proposal, to be honest.
What, plastic pitch?
Well, the thing about plastic pitches, you sort of, we all grew up watching football on grass, and I would every day want to choose a game on a decent grass pitch over a plastic pitch, but we haven't got a decent grass pitch. The choice is between playing a game on a plastic pitch and a cow field, and I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest. It's not romantic, but it's just the obvious choice. So yeah, the general idea is that we rotate the playing surface. It becomes a 3G pitch with some additional sporting facilities around the outside. The entrance of the ground changes location, so it's in the little road between Pilot Field and the Firs. And yeah, it's kind of all done in situ on the Pilot Field as it stands, which to me seems pretty sensible. I think it's easy to be cynical because there have been lots of proposals, decent and indecent, in the past. But one of them's got to work out, otherwise we're a bit screwed. So I don't think cynicism really helps build anything.
Well, you're back to an indecent proposal again. There you go.
Indeed. So yeah, I think it's all quite positive. There was quite a lot of energy behind it. It seems to me reasonably practical in that you're developing one site rather than trying to do two. I appreciate that we had planning for both last time around, but we didn't have permission to build on one of them, so it was a bit irrelevant. So yeah, that all seems quite practical. Obviously, it's raising the money that's the key thing.
Where's it coming from?
Well, there was lots of talk about the Football Foundation, about how little money has been invested in Hastings in terms of sporting facilities in the last 10 years. So I guess you're dependent on the people involved in the idea being able to raise that money, and that sort of kind of all hangs on that. But yeah, I mean, if it were to happen, I think it would be a good thing. I think it would be a step forward. I think it would probably secure the future of the club for how we want it to, at the kind of level that we want it to be playing. Our current level and the one below, maybe the one above, sort of thing. And I think it would get us out of a massive hole, which is where we are currently. It's very hard to see the club moving forward in any real purposeful way without getting the ground sorted. And this would get the ground sorted. It may not be to everybody's taste, but it would get it sorted.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got the space. The main stand can just be left, and you could put where the grass is and put some. Well,
that is basically what they're talking about.
At the worst, so if there is no money, because I don't trust these people with their proposals, and unless there's numbers there, on paper, and then it's.
I mean, I think what they would probably say in response to that, I'm obviously not representative.
But, go on.
I am being paid. No, I think what they would say in response to that is that you can't get the numbers without having plans to sell to people, basically, that you need to be going to people going, look, this is what we want. So that's where they are at the moment, and we'll see whether the numbers come along afterwards.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Okay, talking of numbers, we shall talk about how remote my each way for Folkestone is for coming in this season. Rob, your team continues to frustrate me. When I think you're going to win, you don't, and then when I don't back you, you do. So talk to me about your season, and if anything's changed since you got shot at the manager.
Well, not much has changed, mate. No, not at all. It has continued in the same form that throughout the season. Really, nothing has changed throughout the season, apart from the fact we stopped getting the red cards, which we had a flourish at them in the beginning of the season. I also broke a couple of records actually, getting so many cards. But
is that when Sammy was with you, Blackie?
No, do you know, he hardly played at the beginning of the season. I don't think he's had a red card. He don't for Folkestone either. No, it was mainly Tom Derry got a few. Tom Derry got quite a few, I think. Yeah, and there was
we're waiting for that.
In that suit. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I like Tom. Yeah, he's over enthusiastic sometimes, even when the ball's out of play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has just been a weird season, really. It's been disappointing season. Considering we expected to we thought maybe we'd have a good season, maybe be up there in the playoffs. I think that's what people were hoping for, expecting a bit because of the money that's spent, and the club still seems to be off the pitch pushing in that direction. Yeah, it's just hasn't been good enough, really. And Drury lost his job after the Bognor game, which we won away at Bognor. And then I was a bit surprised at the timing of that. He got sacked within like an hour of the full-time whistle away at Bognor. I don't know if he knew beforehand that he was going, or I don't know. I don't know what the catalyst for that was, why they got at that moment.
What do you think? Yeah. Why do you think he went just results?
Well, ultimately it's results, isn't it? But I don't know. But it's the timing of it. Maybe you think see the season out because it's really not going anywhere anyway. Particularly, I was going to say like a respectable mid-table finish, but I don't actually think it's a respectable mid-table squad we've had this season, to be honest. And then so he went anyway, and then they got a temporary manager in, or interim manager. He did a couple of games. Apparently, he only had a contract for a couple of games. Tim Dixon. He came in. He got we lost at home to Chichester. We were 3-0 down, I think, 5 minutes, something like that. At home, pulled one back, and then we beat Whitehawk at the weekend, 1-0, and then he went after that. I said I think his contract that was it to 2 games, and then we're just going to muddle through with the old assistant manager until the end of the season, I believe. So yeah, it's just sort of playing the season out really, and just sort of trying to make the most of it, try and enjoy it. Well, maybe get a bit of sunshine in some of these games. I'm not in the same boat as you boys. I feel for you, I really do, because football's a cruel game, isn't it? And
it can be,
yeah, it can be indeed. Yeah,
it can be.
Someone has to lose. So, we're gonna. Yeah,
Nick Berry said it, mate. Every loser wins. Okay.
Okay. Yes. And sometimes
you're showing your age, Chris.
I'm going to sing it. I'll sing it at the end of the season. Go on. Anyway, go on, Rob. Sorry, mate.
No, well, that's it, really. I was last time I was on. I said I think you were playing away at Dover on the last game. Is that right?
Yeah, we got and
so I was said.
We'll be safe by then, though, so that'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, Chris has already said he's going to streak.
Yeah, I was going to streak. I was going to, in some way, streak. I wasn't saying what part of me was naked.
Bloody hell, Chris. The season not been bad enough already.
Mate, if we stay up, if we stay up, not.
Okay.
So I'll send out Gary Histed for
if you get relegated.
If we get relegated, Gary's going out. But it is what it is, isn't it, mate? So I mean, ups and downs of football, been around long enough. So
exactly.
I quite enjoy how committed to being mid-table Folkestone are at the moment. 0 goal difference, 11th out of 22 teams, won 15, lost 14.
That's great. Yeah. I think a 0 goal difference, that's great work at this point of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could see that right to the end. That would be excellent.
Yeah, I think I remember Danny Baker did a thing once where he said about the most pointless teams in football, you end up with a 0 goal difference and you've won as many as you've drawn. And
basically back where you started at the start of the season, might as well have just gone on holiday for 9 months.
Exactly, yeah. No jeopardy in the season at all. There you go. Respectable mid-table finish.
Yeah. Well, who you got Saturday, Rob?
We are at home to it's Chesham, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I never know where you're. Away at Chesham.
Away at Chesham, yeah.
Don't know where you're. I can't back any. I give up.
You know what I mean? Does it?
Every away day, I'm like, Folkestone, we're doing the home and aways. I say, right, that's Folkestone winning. And they're like, shut up, Chris, Folkestone ain't winning. And I'm like, no, they are.
They're going to finish somewhere between 15th and where we are now. So I think that's pretty much,
Okay, well, thanks, Rob. Right, Ian, as far as I see it, in terms of relegation battle, you're just on that edge of getting out of it in the Isthmian North. Is that going to happen? Because I noticed a few draws.
So I think last time I was on, I said that Tom Loisy had sort of got every single person who played for Borough during his tenure back at some point to play a part this season, except Ralston Gabriel, who's doing 14 years inside. Well, Ralston Gabriel's made 2 appearances off the bench on day release.
Yes.
He's driven down from. I mean, it says something. If if you weren't already serving a 14-year prison sentence, which says like something about your decision making in life, spending your only days of freedom on the bench for Borough would just
brilliant.
It makes me very, very suspicious about your decision making. But yeah, so he's come back. We had a bit of an uptick in form. We won 3 on the spin, which is kind of unheard of. And then since then we lost top of the table Brentwood, we lost to Folkestone, and then we've had a couple of draws, one of which was a 6-pointer against Wroxham, who are actually on a bit of a march at the moment. So it's sort of and then we drew with Whittam as well, which is we should have won, but for very dubious refereeing decisions. So I think we're in a relatively strong position at the moment. Like if you look at our running, we've got a massive game on Saturday, which is Newmarket away, who are 2 points ahead of it. That's a real 6-pointer. I think we're in real trouble if we lose that. I think we're probably all right if we win it. And then we've got, I think we've got 3 more games against sides in the lower half, and then a couple. We finish with a little sting against 2 playoff chasing sides. So it's sort of next 4 games I think are key. We need to be picking up points in those games. I think we are at the moment. We've sort of dragged ourselves almost out of the mire. I really don't want to go down to. I don't even know what league we'd be in if we went down. Essex Senior League maybe. That would be grim. Yeah, so it's a very sort of Borough all-star team at the moment. We've got Oluja Ajayi's back, Michael O'Donoghue is back, Ralston Gabriel obviously when he's on day release, and yeah, it's kind of it feel like people. I think people are feeling relatively confident. That sort of negativity that was sort of seeping in earlier has disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, it's only like a point in it, and is it like just
with 2 points off Newmarket,
2 points?
I think.
2 points, yeah. So when he comes out, is he allowed to bring weapons with him as an impact sub? Is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's on his best behaviour at the moment, I hear. Yeah, he's.
That's commitment to the Borough cause, I have to say. That really is.
What I will say is it probably says something about us as a team. Like, not all of them bad. They're basically a huge amount of like former players kind of
have a love for the club.
Might go somewhere else to try and make their fortune, but when it all goes to pot, they come back to Borough.
They come to the bosom.
It's like there's a sort of
Haringey.
I feel like there is a real sort of like Tom Loiseau is the surrogate father for quite a lot of Borough players. We've also got someone new who is so Sydney eBay is actually looks like a real footballer. He's big. He holds up the ball well. He can use his head. We heard when he signed that he'd already been like he was on his way to someone in the National League South, but that hasn't
fell through.
That hasn't materialised yet. So maybe his agent telling stories. But he looks good as well. So
he thought he was going Eastbourne Borough.
Looking okay.
He thought he was going Eastbourne Borough, and he ends up at Haringey Borough. Okie dokie. Just quick interjection here. What Mark from Whitehawk, who was going to be on, his missus is in labour currently, so he said he's busy, but all the best to the happy couple, and I hope she's not in labour too long. Yeah, bless him, because I mean he needs to get
send
to the
our
gym.
best.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll message him in a bit anyway. But right then, Terry. So Terry, Margate, who've been in the playoff spots most, if not all, the season, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, which is worrying because, like, this is Margate we're talking about. So.
What's your thoughts on it? Because you've still been picking results up despite maybe not playing the best.
We've had a lot of draws that I think might come back to bite us in the arse, because we've been playing good football. I mean, game before last, we couldn't buy a bloody goal. We were peppering them. There's so many shots and trying it, and it was just not going over the line. It was ridiculously frustrating. That game ended up 1-1, and then we had Saturday. Okay, they're further down the table, but we still managed to smash in 4 goals.
Who are you playing?
It's like, where's that been? Yeah,
you're forgetting the teams now. They just 3 points.
Line
them up.
Who did we have?
Just cannon fodder,
it was
isn't it?
Littlehampton.
Littlehampton.
Yeah, Littlehampton Town. Yeah. So it's just one game to the next. I've said all along, I never make predictions because you got to play whoever's out there on the pitch with you, and that's just the way it goes. But it's been so frustrating with the amount of effort those lads put in, and it's just not converting into goals.
What? And if we won
It's
4-0, how many more goals do you want?
Yeah, no, previous to
Greedy.
that.
You could throw a few
of
goals for
course I
Hastings. Bloody hell.
Well,
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying
we could start with shots.
And that's the frustrating thing. We have, there's been some great passing in from the wings, and it's just not, how it's not gone in the goal most of the time. It's like there's a bloody force field over it a lot of the time, But as I say, Saturday was good. 4 goals from 4 different players. It's how Tom Derry didn't get one as well. Honestly, poor lad. I feel so bad for him. But yeah, it's getting there. I'm always anxious at this time of the season, either way. Because because we want to go back up. Mersham's coming up behind us. We've got to play them. Who else we got? Sevenoaks, they're coming up again. And they've got one of our ex-players. So Ghosts of Players Past, that's going to happen, Who else we got? Beckenham. They're coming up behind us. It's like all these, how things could change really quickly in the table. Things could get rearranged, and it's like, oh my God, So I'm like, we can do this, but oh my God, looking up behind us,
You've got, how many you got? That 4-point buffer to the below, have you? Is it about 4 points?
We're on T. Oh,
I thought you'd have this memorised, Terry.
Don't be daft. I've got a memory like a bleeding sieve. Right. Yeah, we're on 70 and Mersham are on 61.
Right, so you've got a 9-point buffer.
And
I'd love to be that bloody
7 games to go.
Worried. 9 points.
Yeah, to be fair, Chris, we have got a 9-point buffer.
Right, stop it.
The wrong way.
No, it ain't. It's a 10-point buffer.
Sorry,
and 10, and about 1 million goals as well. Anyway,
yeah, but we were in the same position this time last year. If you get a good run going on, you could claw yourself up.
You said this a few times.
Are you available on loan, Terry, at all for the remainder of the season?
Only if I don't have to drive out that bloody hairpin coming down to your place.
Yeah, no, I have nightmare Hastings at the moment, driving wise. What? Yeah. So your Ramsgate's going to win the league. I think they're finally going to do it.
That's pretty safe to say. Yeah, they're about 20 points clear at the top there.
So as we said, that's a good away. That is a good away day. Ramsgate, possibly using Margate. So we're going to have Sittingbourne, Littlehampton, Sevenoaks. Anyway, I'm getting what? Who? Sheppey. Yeah, Sheppey. Yeah. But Deal's all right.
Deal's a good one.
Deal's nice, yeah.
Yeah, Deal's nice. Yeah, so well, I don't know what you're worried about. 9-point bloody buffer.
I'm always anxious, and it's the playoffs then, isn't it? That's a lottery in itself.
True, but usually it's never the second place side that does well. That one that just missed out. I mean, I suppose Ramsgate have really pissed the league this season, haven't they? Really,
I think we can safely say they're going to go up as champions. Yeah.
But they spend money
and then
hand over foot.
Oh, so. God, they if they don't go up, something is seriously wrong because they can't cock out 3 years on the trot. Yeah, I can't see it. It's just I don't think it's mathematically possible anymore. But you got Sittingbourne, you got Burgess Hill. I mean, they're all
I'm looking
dicey if we're going to have to play them. Sittingbourne are our bogey team, so yeah, it's a bit.
Well,
we can do this.
So I know who have you got Saturday?
Stenning Town Community.
Oh, there you go. There's 3 points.
Yeah.
Come on, Terry. You're coasting. You're coasting the playoffs.
Yeah, we can do this, but I'm still going to get anxious about it.
Well then, okay. Well, thank you very much, Terry.
I just wanted to ask Terry how she thought that Ramsgate would get on in the league above when they do come up, because it looks inevitable that they will. Do you think they'll throw money at better players, and do you think they make lots of changes?
Well, they are trying to find a polite way of putting things. They are above themselves in their minds, shall we say? That if they don't keep throwing the money at it, they're gonna they have to keep the momentum going somehow. And I think they'll come across harder team in that league, obviously. So they'll need to keep throwing the money at it to to keep it going. You've only got so many things that Joe Taylor can keep them going with, you know, and he's not getting any younger, so they've got to try and keep the momentum going all through the season. Really, you know, they're not going to find it as easy.
They're going to buy all your players, Rob.
Probably, mate. Yeah, they're probably. To be fair, they're welcome to most of them. After the season.
They need to talk it up, Rob. Talk up their value. Surely.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what, they're brilliant, these lads.
Yeah. No, there's no way that Ramsgate are going to change how they are. They're going to be spending.
Yeah.
No way they're not.
Is it sustainable though?
Well, with the sugar
is any of football sustainable?
Exactly. It's like, how can you keep going? You know, we'll see.
We're getting into deeper questions there.
Well, actually, so we're going to keep going. We're going to believe this is 3 points coming our way. Feel
Honestly, it's doable, boys. You keep. We had a great run. We only just missed out.
Exactly. Yeah. What?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah. There you go. Right. Everyone, don't worry. Terry from Margate says we're not getting relegated, so it won't happen. No, thank you very much, all of you coming on. Always lovely to see you all. Thanks to Rob from Folkestone, Terry from Margate, Ian from the mighty Haringey, and of course Ian Grant from the almost as mighty Hastings United. Anyway, take care and see you at the game.
See ya.
See you again.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers.